Today is called the Blue Cosmic Eagle. Sorry about that, you couldn't hear momentarily. Blue Cosmic Eagle guided by the storm. Blue Cosmic Eagle guided by the storm. The phrase for today: I endure in order to create, transcending mind. I seal the output of vision with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by the power of self-generation. And on a Gregorian calendar, it is Thursday, July 7th, 2011. Now, as I was saying, tomorrow we're going to go a bit more in depth about this 13-moon calendar, this dream spell. I had some emails from some listeners who wanted to know a bit more, and in the past we've done more in detailed stories about it, reports. So that's what I'm going to do again tomorrow. Today, today's the Cosmic Eagle. This 13, that's the cosmic tone. Today's the jumping tone. And then the vision and catalyzation of energy, self-generation of energy. So that's today. Dirk Bradshaw's with us. He has the news, cosmic news, and then after this, well, we'll be back into our UFO news stories. Got a lot of them for today. Stay tuned. I'll be back in just a bit. Dirk, over to you.
Next up on the Cosmic News Network, the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw.
This man uses freeinla.com. He likes that it's updated daily. This man prefers to go to a rival site where it's updated once every 3 years. There you have it. FreeNLA can kick your website's ass any day. FreeNLA.com. Flying high above the planet Earth, this is the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw. Hey there, boys and girls. You know what time it is. It's time for the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw. I am Dirk Bradshaw, and tonight, UFO believers have linked retired Army Colonel John Alexander to everything from military abductions to mind control. Now, Alexander, who has served as a Green Beret in Vietnam, tells the story of the Advanced Theoretical Physics Group, informal band of government officials who took it upon themselves to find out whether there was a secret federal UFO project. Tonight, what he has to say is likely to infiltrate both believers and skeptics. Alexander says there was, in the end, no government conspiracy to cover up reports on UFOs. But he also insists that enough credible UFO sightings have been documented to warrant a closer look. Alexander spoke to us about his new book.
Colonel John Alexander is back tonight, having produced a very controversial and fascinating book called UFOs, Myths, Conspiracies, and Realities. This is a hardcover book and is getting a lot of attention, a lot of talk. But how long have you been involved or interested in the UFO phenomenon?
1947.
Roswell.
Certainly started before Roswell. As soon as they saw the, quote, flying saucers. And there was a fair amount of press at that time, and I was 10, and certainly got my attention.
Roswell wasn't known about until many years later, but the issue of UFOs was heavily covered in the press when you were a kid in the 50s and 60s, and even into the 70s, and then it kind of disappeared. Why did the press, knowing full well they can report on Charlie Sheen and all the rest of them and sell papers, but they dropped the issue of UFOs when our media is steeped in UFOs and alien movies and TV series and dramas and all the rest of it? Why did the press stop covering the UFO story? And it's a big, big story. Now, I've had people try to report to newspapers sightings, and they've been told flat out that we have been told we do not cover this issue anymore. What's behind that, John, in your estimation?
It's toxic. Well, it is for anybody who gets involved. People ask why I wrote the book, and I say, well, I'm a masochist, and I want to get beat up once in a while. No, certainly for any politician, any scientist. Well, what you have to understand is I'm sure your listening audience has intense interest, but they are a tiny, tiny minority compared to the vast majority of people.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Average people are interested and believe in UFOs. I mean, like 70% believe.
Right.
But they're not terribly interested. It doesn't affect their life. And
really? Now, what changed, though, between... there were a lot of newspapers sold in the 50s and 60s and early 70s on the basis of tremendously vivid sighting reports. That's a fact. Now, what you're suggesting here is that people have changed and they become blasé about it.
Pretty much. For the average person, it just doesn't have much impact on their life.
Well,
a lot of things happen in the print media over that time as well.
All right. A big movie is opening Friday night, I guess, or maybe Thursday. It's called Battle L.A.
Right.
Yet another E.T. invasion, and it'll do very well at the box office, like most of them do.
I'm not sure, but
well, we'll see. I mean,
I've heard from people who've seen it. They kind of went,
I'm sure it's another dog. I mean, let's be honest. How many times can you destroy Los Angeles with evil ETs and get people to go to the box office and fork out $15 or $20?
Yeah. Well, it's heavy CGI.
Well,
I think the one to watch is going to be Cowboys and Aliens, because they brought in the A-Team for that.
When's that due out?
July.
Okay, is that the Spielberg one?
Well,
he's behind.
It was created by Scott Rosenberg.
Okay, well, Spielberg's got a big one coming out this summer. There's a trailer out online.
He was an executive producer on it.
Well, maybe is this the one that occurred in the 80s or something? There's the one I saw the trailer of is on the internet now. Someone will email it to me. I'll send it to you. It's a Spielberg production, and it took place in the 80s, I think, maybe the 70s. It's a bit of a time.
This is the 1800s.
Oh, that sounds like a good one.
It is. Harrison Ford, Daniel Craig, like I said, the A-list guys.
Oh, there you go. I knew nothing about it. Okay, well, that one and Spielberg's big one, which I guess has an Area 51 backdrop to it in part. But anyway, there's more on the way. The point of all this is the culture we live in is loaded with ET, UFO screenplays.
Sure.
Whether they're television or motion pictures, it doesn't matter. Now, the suggestion here, though, is that our newspapers aren't going to cover that issue anymore as being reported, and they're
Well, the problem is, again, it's toxic even for them, and they always go ho, ho, ho. Wink, wink at the end of the thing. They'll put up, brief things on sightings, and then a couple of days later, the sighting was explained, even if it wasn't. Here's the Bentwaters case is kind of a classic one there. But
what do you think of the Bentwaters case?
I think it's a great case. I think it's one of the best that have come along.
And
that over time, most of the cases over time get weaker. This is one that seems to get stronger and stronger.
Have you talked to Charles Halt?
I saw Chuck this past weekend.
Good guy, everyone says. Very sincere.
Some people think it was a big deal for him and helped get him promoted. In fact, he'll tell you it almost got him derailed. And from a personnel perspective, it was certainly not career enhancing for the rest of the people involved. But they got about 80 witnesses. I happen to believe Jim Peniston when I first talked to him, and he says, "Oh, you mean the one I touched?" Where he actually walked up, put his hands on it.
On the craft, whatever it was.
And you have the pod, where it landed, and radiation and all that. But when I said the press, if you'll remember, it was only a short time ago, like within the last month, they were hitting the press that said, maybe it was an Apollo capsule that dropped down.
Excuse me?
And you go, this makes no sense whatsoever, but the press picked it up.
Well,
it was supposed to be a training capsule for Apollo that was being dragged along and fell off. You go, it just doesn't even begin to fit the facts.
No.
It gets reported as such.
Of course. That's too bad. Well, the press is not what it used to be. That's for damn sure. You said something, and I've forgotten where I've read it, might have been the Popular Mechanics brief article about you in the book, but you said, look, we've already had the government at the highest levels weigh in on this thing, and you mentioned Truman, I think, quoting, and you mentioned, did you mention Eisenhower? Can you reiterate that for us, please?
Sure. Day one has happened. Everybody's like, when's the announcement from the White House going to happen? Day one happened. It happened, and Truman came out and said, these things are real, and they don't come from Earth.
So Truman said this.
Yeah. The point is, it was greeted with a gigantic ho-hum.
Well, that's pretty amazing because it's a stunning statement. Obviously, he said it with full intent to have people listen and believe him. But you're right, that is day one. And there's more to it than that.
You had, as you know, a lot of other presidents. Carter reported one. We know that.
Yep. Ronald Reagan. Yep.
Who's now Reagan's revered as a god. Well, hell, he was in a plane and chased one.
What did you think of Leslie's book?
I thought she did a really good job. She edited 19 co-authors and first persons that, in fact, I was working on the book kind of in parallel. I knew she was a little bit ahead of me, but we had chosen many of the same cases because they're the ones that stand up to scrutiny.
Hal Puthoff wrote a very, very nice review of your book. I'm going to read that to everyone because Hal's credentials are obviously extraordinary. He said, Colonel Alexander's data-rich book is a must-read by anyone with even a passing curiosity about UFOs and the government's involvement and knowledge of this controversial subject. Authored by a well-connected government insider with decades of access to senior military and civilian leaders and who convened a highly classified, officially sanctioned UFO study group, Colonel Alexander provides a first-hand, behind-the-scenes look at the intricate government/intelligence/military-industrial complex structure that emerges from his careful study. With candor and meticulous attention to detail, Colonel Alexander shares his personal odyssey to determine the ground truth reality concerning the UFO enigma and the government's role in it. The verdict? On the one hand, he finds that our nation's best defense assets unequivocally confirm the existence of UFOs as physical objects of extraordinary performance capability, apparently intelligently controlled. On the other hand, he also deconstructs many of the field's most vaunted myths and conspiracies that have grown up around this controversial and contentious topic. Believers and skeptics alike will thus find much here to challenge a priori assumptions. Hal Puthoff, Ph.D., Director of the Institute for Advanced Studies at Austin. So very well done, John. That's a glowing review from a great man.
And folks should know, he is a personal friend and was involved in some of those studies. So.
All right. So you validate 43 cases, and as I just read from Hal Puthoff's glowing review, you have made no bones about it, that the top intelligence and defense people know there's something going on.
We have had, interactions with strategic systems. Basically, every sensor system we have picks them up. And yet, they say, well, we're the Department of Defense, not a threat. We do threats.
So that's how they wash their hands of it. They declare it a non-threatening issue, and therefore they're not interested in it.
Well, pretty much. It was, that happened with the Condon report. And in a way, Condon was right, because the question to him was not, are there UFOs? It was, is this a threat? He said, not a threat, haven't been invaded, so you'd have to say that piece at least was correct. For those who wonder what my position is, you'll note that Jacques Vallée did the foreword for the book.
Yes.
And in this area, he and I think a lot alike.
Interesting.
Are you familiar with Burt Rutan?
Sure.
He said, sure. There's
I
a lot
know.
of people who aren't. And I was quite surprised that he actually provided an introduction to this.
Really?
for those who don't know, he is, an aerospace giant, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Recently won the X Prize for the first civilian company to put in a man into space.
Very gutsy man. Yeah.
And but in the intro, he actually tells about his own sighting. So that's pretty brave for him to step forward and say, I saw one of these things. It's going to be hard for the skeptics to take on when, one of their legends comes in and says, yep, that was real. Then, of course,
Indeed.
Tom Clancy did some commentary as well. So,
well, it's a book that's going to be hopefully widely read, and I assume its sales are good already. It's seemingly got a lot of attention on the net.
Oh, man, I can't believe it's over. Where does the time go? Well, I see the fat lady's off the stage. She's looking right at me. It's time for me to go put her to bed. I hate goodbyes. So instead I'm going to say, until we meet again, I'm Dirk Bradshaw for the Cosmic News. Wake up.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Government should be afraid of people.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing. What they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, big brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if by land and two if by sea? And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. This is the UFO news for today. I've got a number of stories. In regards to the last report, the name of the movie Jeff was thinking of was Super 8. Super 8 was the one that just came out with Steven Spielberg, or Steven Spielberg was executive producer. And it was like, well, it's a good movie. Another one of his good movies. It's E.T. on steroids, basically. E.T. on steroids. literally. I mean, when you see the ET, he looks like a big ET. That's, you could tell in the face it was kind of like similar to the one that was in the original ET movie. It had a kind of similar idea in the storyline. ET wanted to go home, and the only one that he was fighting with were the military, who was trying to stop him from going home. It's always the same old story, isn't it? Same old story. Well, UFOs are making themselves known a bit more these days. This here is footage from CNN. Yesterday there was the big windstorm out there in Arizona, and as you will see in this video right here, right at the end of the storm here we go. There you go. You see that right there? Right here. You got one. And momentarily, you're going to see another one. Oh, there we go. Right here. It's like coming out from the clouds in dust storm. Alright. And this was CNN. You can see their logo right down here. So this was caught live during their broadcast. How many people saw this? How many, I didn't happen to catch what CNN said during the course of this. But there they are for all to see, and then one of them flies off screen there. Now obviously the helicopter that this was being shot from got a really good look at this one here. Be interesting to know what they experienced from that and what they saw further, or if they have any other video footage maybe shooting in another direction. Alright, so that is CNN's video. And here's guy's got a little note, says big ups to CNN for being cool, or maybe just, what does it say here, for being cool or just not catching this. So either way, they made themselves onto national news here in America. Alright, moving right along to the next story here. This one is quite interesting. Don't know if this one is real or not. You look at it, see what you think. This one, as you can see here, right here, you can see this image right there. That's the image in question. And again, obviously it's a very small image, or a small type ship, because you see the people standing here in proximity to it, so I don't know exactly, I don't know. And you look at the comments, and there's those who, right away consider this fake, and the person who puts these up says they're real. I guess they're going to, time will tell as this gets researched a bit, right? So that's what we got there. That took place on the 5th of July. Now we have another sighting here, or this was All News Web. This has got a whole story here. Says that a witness to a UFO sighting who was out trekking trip near his hometown managed to film what might be a craft of alien origin as it passed over the area during the daylight hours. The event took place in the vicinity of the town of Nordokjostbotn in the far north of Norway and occurred around a week ago. The UFO video was uploaded onto YouTube by a user who calls themselves The Artisan and has since caused something of a stir amongst UFO enthusiasts on the internet. The number of experts have examined the footage and declared all the likelihood that the UFO seen in the clip is not the product of computer-generated graphics. It is known within certain government departments working with the highly classified projects that a number of alien races are sending small probes to planet Earth for the purpose of scientific exploration, and is expected by a number of viewers that this craft is indeed one of these unmanned probes. UFO sightings like this, along with the accompanying footage, are making it harder for governments to keep the secret about the reality of alien visitation. While Norway is not a UFO hotspot, UFO are seen on a regular basis in the area. Down here we've got the video. So let's take a look at this here. Alright, and you could see here's the ship right in here. You see that? It's a pretty darn good shot. If this is real, which is under review, that's a pretty darn good shot of a craft moving through and being filmed. Alright, very good, very good, very good. And this is a UFO sighting fleet over Colombia that took place. Here you could see in the storm there. This took place on June 21st. Okay. And we had another one here. What was this one? This one was this was from Africa, and this is a UFO fleet filmed by NASA. So let's check this out here. And all right. Alright, as you could see, we've got, looks like a whole lot of them right here. This is what they're talking about, are the fleet of UFOs leaving the Earth. So, for whatever reason, that's what's there. So, all these videos are going to be up online. Are any of these sightings have anything to do with this latest crop circle? If you remember this just showed up not too long ago. And this was the, it's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. What do you make it out to be? I'm going to have this link. All of these links are going to be up at our page so that you can go and find them, read the stories in depth, and see what you think about all this. One of the thoughts with the whole UFO phenomenon that's going on right now is how people are coming to understand what is going on and how the government is interpreting that. And if they really are interpreting it in a proper way at all. Because, for years, as you heard in the early report that Dirk was doing, UFOs have been painted out as being bad. Bad aliens that they're coming to attack, and that seems to be the main message coming out of Hollywood. And it's told to you over and over and over again. But what if these aliens aren't here to attack? Or what if the only ones they're wanting to deal with are those that are in the governments that are screwing things up? Because you remember, when they left, according to the stories of the book of Genesis, when they left, Earth was still the garden planet. Earth was still a good place. There was a lot that they had set up. And now here they come back. If these are indeed the return of those from Nibiru, then they would be returning back to a planet that is not going to necessarily be in the same condition that they left it in. There's going to be some advances. There's going to be some good things that they're going to notice. But they're also going to see that there's a lot of corruption that's been brought about by the various leaders of these countries, all of these countries around the world for so many years. So what kind of disinformation is out there? As I'm seeing the videos of the earthquakes and the tornadoes and the volcanoes and the dust storms and the tsunamis, there's footage of UFOs at all of these different events. Above the events, through it, coming out of the dust clouds. And it kind of leaves questions as to what is the intent of these craft. Are these craft at all? Are these some sort of a manifestation of Project Bluebeam and a hologram that is being shown, and people are seeing something a little bit more often? Are these aliens and beings up there that are not the ones who are out to help us and of good intent that are creating these kind of storms and these natural disasters? Or are these perhaps U.S. and ships created down on this planet that are flying around through these different storms and around at these moments, covering up so that when you see sort of an event like that's been created by HARP, you think that it maybe was created by the UFOs as another way to discredit them and make them make you feel that they are out just to get you, that they are doing things to destroy the planet. So there could be a lot of disinformation in this whole mix, and I think we really need to pay attention to it, because there are messages being sent down, and the messages are requiring that humankind pay attention to it. Humankind needs to pay attention because a lot's going on, and there does seem to be a real increase in these sightings that are taking place, an increase in the events and the public that is seeing these type of events. So when this is going on, we've never had this increase like this. When it goes on and we become more aware of what's going on in our skies and see that there's truly something there, well, I think we need to address these issues, because sooner or later one of these ships is going to land. And when it does, you want to be a little bit more informed about what's going on. The information's out here. It's all online. firstcontactradio.com. We've got all kind of information there as well. Just keep paying attention, because there's a good thing going on with the UFO phenomenon. They're not all about attacking as your new U.S. governments or world governments want you to believe. Remember this before we close out our UFO news here. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, when Adam was created, when Eve was created, that whole story, do you remember they said that they were going to make man in their own image? In their image. And there's a planet here of beings that look just like you. Humanoid beings. You don't look like little gray aliens. You look like human beings. Therefore, the gods, according to the Bible, that created you looked like you did, because you were created in their image. When you see the little gray aliens running around and the images, and you're told that these are your ancestors, just remember, you were created in the image of God. Do those little gray ones look like you do? No. Therefore, they're not the same. There's different races of aliens. The gray race of aliens is not the one that was involved in genetically manipulated humankind. There was a different race. There were other races. There's a long history of UFOs. It's just important that you understand the difference, so that you're not, taking the one-size-catch-all alien theory that the lot put out, the governments, that there's only one kind of aliens. There's lots of aliens. Lots of aliens, lots of planets, lots of good aliens, beings from other worlds that want to help you. So, there you have it. I'm going to quit rambling now. I'm going to jump to a quick break here. I will be right back.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw it. Up above the clouds, it was a silver shiny disc floating high above the ground. Then I saw them waving to me. It was E.T. and his family. Something happened up the straight from the ground. The sky that shot the UFO down. Roswell, E.T. didn't make it home. Roswell, Evie didn't make it home.
The Army Air Force has announced that...
All right, I'm back. So that was Roswell, the band's UFOetry. All right, at the beginning of the show, you always hear the same song after Dirk and the Cosmic News, Wake Up. I play that song every show. As a matter of fact, every show that we've done, that's always been the first song we play, because it's an important song. I'm going to continue to play that until everyone is woken up. How long is that going to take? I don't know. But just not to take any chances, I'm going to play that every day. It's a free song, free download. Get the song, pass it around. It's a wake-up call to patriots. We've got to be awake for what is going on. Being asleep is not part of the picture. Okay. The other day there was a big earthquake and a tsunami that took place. I want you to check this out here. All right, this is, here we go. All right, this is from the Earthquake Reporter, Pacific Earthquake and Tsunami Alert. All right, it was a 7.8. This is the area where it was centered out there near Australia. Out in an area called the Kermadec Island region. Now, here's something kind of trippy about the whole thing here. Check this out. Over at Godlike Productions, this is a really good website. They got a great forum there. There was a posting that took place on the 5th, and it says here, an impending tsunami, weird connections. And somebody had put together the connections that on the 5th of July, in 2005, there was a 6.6 earthquake that took place in Indonesia. And then there was another earthquake, a 7.7 earthquake that took place on the 5th of July, 3 years later, 2008. And where was it? I think this one was in Russia. Where was this one? This one was the Sea of Okhotsk. So there was this one here, right? Then they say that with 3 years difference, they said if you complete an equal lateral triangular, the next EQ earthquake would hit somewhere off the coast of northeast Australia. Check the map on Google Earth by yourself. Well, I saw this posting the other day, and I was wondering if there was going to be any sort of event after this. And lo and behold, when I got back around last night and checked back in with the news, there was an earthquake. That was right when this person who made this posting had thought there would be one, according to this pattern here. And it was a pretty significant one. It wasn't 8.8, but it was pretty significant. So I had heard numbers as high as like 7.9 and then downgraded to a 7.8. And then if you go to the USGS website now, it's listed as a 7.6. Okay, since that quake, you can go to this site here. This is the live internet seismic server website. And if you go here, since that quake, you could see that all of the areas all around the world, there seems to be some movement, some shaking going on of some sort. Big quake like that definitely has an effect. I mean, normally, all of these areas that you see here, normally these are low. You don't really see any lines in them because there's no ground movement taking place. Every single one of these is moving with something. So, quite interesting indeed. Now, I got a website. I'm going to have this link up there. And this is space.com. And what they have got going is the latest news for Nibiru in 2012 and Planet X. So this is something I hadn't noticed and seen up there before. But they've got information here all about finding castaway planets. No, not Nibiru. So this is where they talk about the planets that just kind of float around out there. And that kind of coincides with some ideas of maybe this planet Nibiru is just a floating planet, a free-floating planet, or maybe this planet Tyche that they say might exist, or something else of that nature. There's a lot of talk and speculation. We've got other stuff here: Comet Elenin, wimpy Comet Elenin headed for the inner solar system. You've got all kind of information. If you go down here and just check it out, spaceweather.com. I'm going to put this link up on our site. That way you can go and do some research and study, see what you can make of the whole thing, okay? And then over here at spaceweather.com, let's take a look at what's going on for today. And we can see right here that we have a minor storm watch, as it says. Minor storm watch continued. NOAA forecasters estimate there's a 10% chance of minor geomagnetic storms on July 7th in response to an incoming CME. High latitude sky watchers should remain alert for auroras. Okay, this was a couple days ago. I don't know if you had seen this. This was a comet. You can see right down here. When I play this, you'll see this comet coming from here into the sun. There you go. See it? And there, boom. So there was a lot of speculation about, uh-oh, what was this? The comet went into the sun. What does that mean? And is that going to create any sort of interesting? It says during the late hours of July 5th, an unnamed comet from the outer solar system dove into the sun and disintegrated. Click on the arrow to witness the death plunge recorded by coronagraphs onboard the Solar and Heliospheric Observation, otherwise known as SOHO. Alright, and if we check our weather today here, space weather, if we look right in this area right up here, it tells us our current conditions, right? So the current conditions for the moment tell us that we've got solar wind moving at 361.1 kilometers per second with a density of 4.4 protons centimeter to the third. And it'll tell you about your X-ray solar flares, and let's see what it says, what kind of forecast. And this is the current one updated on the 6th, says that right now in mid latitudes there is a 35% chance within 24 to 48 hours from the time when that flare occurred that there would be some very active an active period, an active storm. 10% chance the storm would become minor, and a 0.01% chance that it would become very severe. You notice if you go into the higher altitudes or latitudes, which makes sense because you are a little higher, those numbers go up by about 5%. This was 35 to 40, 10 to 15. So you get the idea there. Okay, so this is a good site to keep track of as well, spaceweather.com. And moving right along here, this is a bit of information here. I'm going to play this one. This is about Nibiru right here, and alright, you can see it's here going to talk about Comet Elenin, what's going on with it. It says, what is Elenin? We will know very soon. Okay, here he has a nice graph you can see in this, and you've got Uranus, Neptune, Earth, looks like Saturn, Pluto. No, that's not Saturn. Let's see what we got here. Alright. And he says on July 7th, that's today, Elenin will align with several other planets. And so it's going to talk about this alignment right here. It says the Sun is going to align with the planet Mercury. Elenin, or whatever it is. And Jupiter, or excuse me, Saturn. So the question is being asked is what's going to happen during this time period when this alignment is made. And what is referenced now is the alignment here, JPL. You can go to their website, check it out yourself, see how the planets are moving. Okay. All right. right, so this is an image here, one of the Sumerian tablets. You could see this ship here right in the middle, obviously a ship, and two beings here, down here on this planet apparently. So let's pay attention to what's going on out there with that bit of information and see, if there's any alignment with the alignment, what we will feel. I guess we'll know tomorrow, won't we? Or was this event that took place down in New Zealand, was this part of this alignment as well? All right, Packy over at powertheweb.net, he's got a bunch of information there that's some really good stuff you want to check out. Let's listen to something right here. All right.
Hey guys, Packy here. It is 6:01 p.m. Wednesday, July 6, 2011. Boy, do I have a bunch of articles for you guys. Alright, well these were the articles I could find. There were a lot more, so I hope you like these. Anyways, I'm going to go on. 7.6 mag earthquake strikes tectonic plate boundary near Kermadec Islands. Well, this just happened, guys. A 7.6 mag earthquake hit a tectonic plate. There you go. Anyways, going to move on. It just happened. All right, the next article here is deepening seismic tension agitating tectonic plates across the globe. Really? Well, now they're coming out with it. Well, anyways, it says here, July 6, 2011. The tension is nigh universal. In South America, double earthquakes have hit Colombia. A 4.7, a 4.1, a 4.4 has rattled Nicaragua. The Caribbean is unsettled with tremors rattling through most of the islands. Well, anyways, this is a big article. As always, I provide the links. You guys tell me. Please comment. All right, gonna move on.
Okay. I encourage you to check this out. I'm going to put this link on the page so you can go follow this video. But he's got a bunch of other stories. I mean, there's a volcano going off in Iceland ready to erupt. More information about the Missouri River. Florida beach overrun with thousands of jellyfish. 50-mile wide. Here's the dust storm story. I mean, tons of information that's out there. And he's just one of many researchers that are out there pulling together good information. Hey, man, there's a lot of great stuff on the internet, The reason they want to shut it off is because there is so much information that the mainstream media is not putting out. And so what do? They go to threaten it. When you hear all these talks lately that are going on about all the hackers, don't buy into all of that, because that's part of the scam. They want you to believe that there is such a hacker problem that they actually need to impose some security measures. So they're just doing it to scare you. But don't fall prey to their stories. Now, this next story here, this is a quick little report here. This is important. This is about Ron Paul and something that the mainstream media is not doing, which is not reporting the truth. Here we go.
Just in off the social networks, MSNBC blatantly excludes Congressman Ron Paul off the list of second quarter top fundraisers. Congressman Paul, who raised $4.5 million, should be listed as second place on this list. However, the media controllers who run MSNBC clearly do not want the congressman's message of sound money, fiscal responsibility, and sustainable foreign policy to gain any traction. This is just one more in a long line of deceptions perpetuated by the mainstream media, and another reason to support alternative media like the Reality Report. Let's take action and demand that MSNBC broadcast an apology and clarification. Take action now by contacting MSNBC at on.msnbc.com/telljoe, then forward this video. For the Reality Report, I'm Gary Franchi.
All right, thanks, Gary. So when you go to this video, you go to click on the show more, you will see the link right there. And you can go ahead, click on that link. It'll take you to their website where you can forward this message. What you want to do, I just went ahead, you copy this message here. You can copy the first part just off the networks. Just remind them about what they did, and all the way up through how he got second place on the list, and he should be there. And then just go down here where it says you want them to correct that and ask for an apology should be printed for leaving that out. You want clarification, and then send along the video. Just put it right in the posting, send it along. That's what we need to do. If we keep doing that, barraging the media with stories, they're going to have to listen. Now, this story here, this is going to go into the section of how stupid do they really think that we are? How stupid do they really think that we are? So the TSA has been accused of different types of sexual predatory behavior. And they are feeling up women, they're feeling up kids, they're making elderly take off their adult diapers. They're just running amok, causing all kind of problems, threatening that if they don't be allowed to do their activity, they're going to slow down the airport industry, blah, 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 blah. Well, as would be expected, since they're getting all this flack, sooner or later you knew that they were going to bounce back with some way to rebel against that. And what do you know? Here is this report saying that, terrorists are going to start using bombs, implanting them. Now they have a reason to want to feel you up, because you might have a bomb implanted in you. So, I'm going to play a little bit of this.
Last week, the Transportation Security Administration sent out a message to domestic and international air carriers and some other officials about a new information about a fresh interest in a tactic to surgically implant explosives inside a human being. And this would be to evade the airport security measures that have been put in place over the past 10 years. They've received some intelligence that terrorists are looking to try to do that. This is not a new concept. It's just new intelligence that they're still expecting.
How about that? New intelligence that they have. TSA and intelligence, those two words don't go together. Don't buy it. It's just part of their smokescreen. TSA is just finding ways so that they can continue with their illicit activities. I hope you don't buy into this story. I hope you kind of laugh at the stupidity of this, because they actually think you're stupid by doing and putting these kind of stories out. So, I don't know. Crazy, crazy, crazy how stupid they actually think people are. Sure indeed. Okay. Here we are. We've come to the end of the show. And what we want to do here is, as we do each and every day, is close things out on a positive note. Positive note. What I want you to keep in your mind, go ahead and, if you want, close your eyes, just relax. We're just going to take 2-3 minutes here. What I want you to keep in your mind is just the awareness that regardless of all the bad times, regardless of all the challenges that are going on in the world, these are meant for our growth, because our characters become defined through the conflicts that we face and the challenges that we have to overcome. So as we go through life, as we deal with these challenges that we're having to deal with, let us remember that there is a deeper lesson involved, and rather than get caught up in the emotion of the moment, let us all seek to understand the deeper meaning behind what is taking place. So as you are walking through the path of life, and I want you to imagine yourself walking along a path, I want you to turn all your chakras on. Just imagine all of them. Starting at the bottom of your spine, the color red, raising that energy up to the chakra above it, which is orange. From there to the chakra above it, which is yellow, right below the rib cage. Raise the energy up to the heart chakra, color is green. From the heart chakra, raise it up to the throat, color is blue. From the throat chakra, raise it up to the third eye, the color is violet, and then to the crown chakra, indigo, and let that energy go up. And you're connected above and below, below and above to this energy. And just imagine all of this multicolored energy floating inside your body and then overflowing. And then as it overflows, this is the spiritual armor that you have available to you. This is what you see, you feel. This is truly available for you. Not everything happens and exists in three-dimensional world. There's other realities and other dimensions of energies we have at our disposal at any point in time. We just need to practice, learn how to work with them. So as you have your chakras on and as you are working with this energy and allowing it to form a protective shield around you, I want you to imagine extending this protective shield out. Practice extending the space of this protective shield. Now, imagine, if you will, sending love right now from your heart space. Imagine the color green from the heart chakra, and imagine this love being sent out all around the world. Send it out, and just imagine it connecting with each and other being on this planet. And as everyone connects with this love, as everyone connects with this heart space love that is being sent to them, there's a deeper understanding about our connection with the planet and the love the planet has for us and the love that the cosmos has for us as well. And that in the middle of all of this love, that there is much growth and care for who we are and what we're about along this journey. And with that in mind, we can relax and be at ease that we can make it through all of these challenges. Now I want you to go ahead and bring your energy and attention back to the present moment. We're going to do so on the count of 5. 5, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 4, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. 3, coming back to the present moment strengthened by the experiences of the past. 2, coming back to the present moment aware of who you are and what it is you need to do. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Go ahead and shake out your arms and your legs. Wake yourself up. Get yourself ready for the day. If it's the end of your day, then and you're getting ready to go to bed, then perhaps you'll have some good dreams and energize yourself for tomorrow's journey. So that brings us to the end of another show. What is going to happen today in the world? I don't know. I don't. There's so much going on right now. So much going on in so many areas. From natural disasters to false flag events to UFOs being spotted to wars around the world to nuclear incidents taking place. It's a lot. Can make the head swim. But we are all in this together. We can all find a way out of this. We all just need to be calm and just inform each other and just keep taking a step forward in the path and in the footsteps of faith. If we do that, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to have to go through the challenges, but just remember, not all energy happens on the physical level. Not all these changes taking place are about physical changes. Some of them are changes on the 4th and the 5th dimensional energetic levels. So we want to be able to tune into that while at the same time being aware of the other changes that are taking place. It all fits together. It's one big puzzle. All right? All right. That's the show for today. Thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure. And for Dirk Bradshaw, my name's Josh Poet. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here.